Good Monday morning and welcome to Drive Time, the delayed division, the delayed version. The best worst show ever. Good morning, Johnny Sims. Kimmy Wiggins, good morning to you. Earl Pruitt, good morning. Kimmy Williams, Girls of 87. Good morning, Kim. Fuquay's in, good morning to you. Good morning, Hot Rod. Miss Gail, good morning. Sherry Weaver, good morning, Sherry. She Stanton's in, good morning to you, Chief. Let's see, Boss Man, good morning, Boss. And Kenwood, good morning to you.
Good morning, DJ. Crazy weekend.
Wow. Crazy world.
Yeah. Maury, I don't know. We got some sound or something.
That's the wind blowing the flag.
Yeah. Map that out. Yeah. There we go. That was that's all I could hear was. Anyway, crazy weekend.
My first notification that I saw on the book was posted by Drive Time family member D. Powell.
Really?
That's the one. That's when I saw it. That's what got my attention. That's when I went to the news channels. And when I saw it, I read it for what it was. It was a very. Well, I'll bring it up. It was a very simple post. It wasn't anything that was
Good morning, Miss Ann McGraw.
Wasn't worded, in a crazy
morning,
way.
Miss Carol.
He posted Trump was shot at the rally in PA.
Yeah,
and then I said, okay.
I mean,
there was no ha 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 nothing. So I went to the news channels and there it was, and it happened.
Listen, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I happened to be up in at the hunting camp, and a guy that was there had his two boys with him, and we walked in the door, and a 7-year-old said to us, "Hey, did y'all know Trump's been shot?" And that's how we found out. So we did immediately the same thing, turn it on, and it was wild. I mean, it was just wild.
Good morning, Miss Ann. Good morning to you, Miss McKenzie. She was my 4th grade teacher.
Yes, she was.
Hank Palmer, good morning to you.
Morning, Miss McKenzie.
Morning, Hank. Sandy Townsend, good morning to you, Sandy. Yeah, but it was, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you fall on.
No.
That's just crazy. We live in a crazy, crazy world.
Yes.
And I don't know how to redirect things. I think it's going to have to start with prayer. Got to start with a bunch of prayer, but this is just insane.
I want to make something real clear about this. If anyone had any question, if God is real, he's real. And let me tell you how you know that. I mean, you're talking about a centimeter. What do they say? A few centimeters? I mean, one way or the other.
Tight window.
And it's a different situation, So you're right. I mean, we live in a crazy. I mean, this is different from when Reagan. I mean, think about it. I don't remember the country being as tuned up as it is right now. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that what was that guy's name that tried to do that to Reagan or what have you? Remember that
Hinckley?
Hinckley. They not long ago let him out of prison. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not saying that you just don't have pure nut jobs and things of that, but it does make you kind of wonder.
I don't have the closest personal experience I have to what happened this weekend was in, I guess it would have had to have been 1988 up at Auburn, when President Bush was running for president. His vice president candidate was Dan Quayle.
That's right.
Quayle came to Auburn to speak. We didn't get Bush. I'm sure Alabama got Bush, and we got Quayle. But anyway, Quayle shows up, and he's out there. If you're familiar with the Auburn campus, where the Eagle cage used to be, the Eagle net used to be, that was a concourse area, and that's where they had him set up. And I remember, I'm going to say there was 3,000 people out there. It may have been more, may have been less. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
And I remember the presence of the Secret Service. Like, I remember the east side of the upper deck of Jordan-Hare Stadium, there was probably 10 up there. And they were back behind where, Quayle was facing us. They had his back.
Oh, yeah.
At Haley Center, which is 8 stories tall, there was another 8 or 10 up there. All of them have long rifles. All of them have scopes on them. And then the quad, the lower quad in Parker Hall, which would have been out in front of Vice President Quayle, there's another 10 or 12 up there. I remember we were having the conversation. This was in the day when everybody had backpacks.
Right.
And I'm assuming they still do. But,
sure.
But I mean, you're thinking, if you made a move for your trapper keeper, I mean, you could get plugged, man.
Quick.
I mean, it was just one of those deals where, like, you.
Okay,
it was a secure area.
So riddle me this, Batman.
Yeah.
How does a 20-year-old kid get to an elevated position with a direct line of sight within 130 yards of a former president after what you just described for a vice presidential candidate?
In calmer times, this was 88.
Sure, that's what I mean.
The landscape was completely.
That's what I said.
I was actually blown away by the amount of security there, thinking like, this is Auburn. What are we're fixing to do? I mean, like him, don't like him, we're not going to shoot him.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they had that much security.
Yeah.
You said 88.
It was 88.
All right, so we're 2024.
Yeah.
Country is in a lot more tuned up. Let's be honest. I mean, the divide is pretty hot right now, and all of a sudden, you look up, and all I've seen so far. Now there may have been more. I'm sure there were, but I've seen the two guys on the video on top of the barn, right behind him. My question is, again, when they saw the guy on the roof, why didn't they engage him?
Well, I think that I have it figured out, but I'm not looking for trouble. So I'm going to keep it to myself for the most part. I'm just trying to.
Hey, listen. Do you know how many podcasts have been on since this happened Saturday?
But that guy, let me back up.
We're not going to get in any trouble.
Let me back up. The aerial photo that I saw of where the incident took place, it was the closest building, elevated building, to President Trump.
Correct.
And there's no way that guy can get that gun on that roof and nobody see it. There's no way.
Listen, Lee Harvey, he shot.
There's no way.
Lee Harvey shot one shot that did a 90-degree turn in midair, according to our government.
Well, I can understand how he got to that position, Lee Harvey. There's no way this guy can crawl up on I understand getting on the 6th floor of a book building. But how he got there is this guy couldn't have gotten there.
Correct. But my point being, I'm saying it's the same thing. Like that whole thing with Lee Harvey is the same kind of thing as this. Okay, how did this guy get to that building? How did this guy low crawl? You have witnesses claiming they ran to the police saying there is a guy low crawling with a long rifle climbing up this building. And I don't get it. I don't know how that happens in today's society. You just got through describing what would be a super, super secure detail for a vice presidential candidate in 1988 at Auburn University, where the chances of somebody taking a pop shot at Dan Quayle were probably zero.
from an elevated position, they were 0.
Correct.
Because they had secured all the high ground in the immediate perimeter. They had secured all of it.
Right.
They had the stadium, they had Haley Center, they had Parker Hall, and they had the quad.
Right.
And it was all, they were looking down into a bowl.
I mean, here's the thing. The Secret Service has this 0 fail. You know, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Well, this was a colossal fail. I mean, just from the fact that kid was able to get. Now, here's the deal. You're going to have people on one side saying it was a colossal fail, and it was. But you're going to have the people on the other side saying, well, it may have been more than a colossal fail. Who let him get that close? Because you just said it. How could anybody have got that close when you watched what you watched in 1988?
That was the first thing that I thought of when I was sitting there watching it. And of course, we're jumping around a little bit here, but kind of lost in the shuffle. And even here this morning, a man did lose his life. A father lost his life.
Yes, he did.
By all accounts, he was protecting his family.
Protecting his family.
Yeah, I think
God bless him.
They said he was 50,
50
maybe a
years old.
firefighter.
Yes.
I think that's what they said.
Yes.
And so I mean, the tragedy was real, and it'll be felt forever. But that was you sit there and you kind of go into a concussed state of the state of the world or the state of this country, and what has to happen just to get us back at least on the same page. I'm not, I think debate is good. I think difference is good. I think it's what makes the world go round. But my gosh, man, this is too much, man.
Yeah,
this is too much.
Healthy debate is one thing, and if you don't like the way things go, then you settle it at the ballot box.
Yeah,
you don't have to, settle it with. But here's
I'm cool with you settle it on the playground.
Well, sure,
but it's no way. Go out there and duke it out.
Yeah,
when it's over with, it's over with.
But that has nothing to do with a bullet.
Yeah,
I mean, anyway, I think what you said earlier is very true, and I think that we are very lucky here where we live because I think we all try to practice this, and that is to be a listener of somebody else's opinion or thought or viewpoint, and whether you agree or not agree with it, you don't have to want to fight afterwards or want to put something in each other afterwards. I mean,
one of the things, and this was just what I had access to, what showed up on my feed. I can't tell you what showed up everywhere else. What I had access to, what showed up on my Facebook page in the hours following it, and this gives me some hope that we can get there, is I didn't see any outrageous, tacky comments from people who probably weren't going to vote for President Trump. Now, I'm not telling you that it takes a great person not to make that, but I was thinking, okay, there's going to be somebody that's going to say something that's going to be completely out of pocket, and it's going to take on a completely different narrative. I didn't see any of that, which that made me that gives me hope and belief that maybe we're not as far apart as some people would have us believe.
Well,
and I'm sure it was out there. I just didn't see it.
Sure. Well, and I think you hit on another good point right there as well. What they want us to believe. I mean, for far too long, that's what it's all about. Listen, you believe what we tell you, don't believe what you see. That's what they've basically been doing, and either we are that divided, we aren't that divided. But here's the thing. The big question is, what has to happen to tone all this down? I mean, we can all, the president included, talk about toning it down and all this, but what does it take to do that? I mean, what has to happen to do that?
I guess that's the $1 million question.
It is. I mean, and
I think it probably starts with prayer.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
I mean, every we've been talking about that off and on for the last couple of months here, and when you take prayer out of society, when you take prayer out of school, how did you think it was going to end?
Right. Well, yeah. Here's something that bothered me last night that I was listening to some of this coverage. And I maybe shouldn't even say this, but when they walk out to the podium and say, yeah, we've got his phone, but we can't get in it. That's not good. for a lot of reasons. But I mean, that makes us look at them even more untrusting than we already are because of all the information that's out there that we already know for fact that they get and gather and do. So for them to walk out to the podium and make that statement is just crazy. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like the whole question of how he got to that building.
Yeah.
You know, why would you walk out and make such an asinine statement when everybody knows better? I mean, you know, oh, we don't know who this is. Oh, okay. Same thing like it wasn't a lab leak. We get it. Okay. We get it. I mean, you know, let's start down that path again. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I had hoped I wouldn't see, but I did see some post of this. Heard a lot of people say this in the last 2 days, that we were a couple of centimeters away from an all-out civil war. I don't know that that's a good thing.
Well, it's certainly not a good thing.
No, yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know if that's a good thing to be talking like that either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe that's my opinion, but I just don't know. You know, maybe if you feel like that, okay. But I'm saying I don't know if that's good to be out, you know, getting on national TV and saying that kind of thing, because all I think that does is maybe even keeps it adding fuel to the fire.
It'll be interesting to see when the investigation's concluded and they present their findings and the narrative that is attached to it. It'll be interesting to see when that comes out, and I'm assuming it'll be several weeks or whatnot. They'll do their due diligence and then come up and present it to the public, and we'll see.
So let me toss this one at you. What happens if they take another shot at him? I mean, let's just assume, and I'm hypothetical, misses, but what happens if they try it again?
I can't go there. Like I don't know. Like I don't allow myself to go there.
I know it's a crazy question. I get it, but I'm saying, who would have? Honestly, I'm honestly not surprised this has happened. I'm saddened that it did. I'm not surprised. I'll be the first to tell you. I mean this. When I started watching all that Saturday evening, I mean, it kind of bothered me. It got to me, the fact that, you know, we're supposed to live in the greatest country on the earth, and we have this kind of craziness going on here. I mean, it's just nuts. You know, you said it right a while ago. When you take prayer out of school, you know, when you start out, you know, when kids are just, you know, coming on, and what do you think's going to happen? You know, and here we are reaping what we sow. And, you know, hey, like DJ said, there's going to be I agree with you, a lot more going to come out about this, and we're going, you know, whatever, there'll be a lot of investigations, and we'll never know the truth. I mean, never, you know, so we can all speculate, but at the end of the day, something's got to change, or I don't know how much longer this country can sustain this kind of craziness.
Well, it sounds there's not a simple solution to a complex problem, but it starts with prayer. If they would come out today and put prayer back in school, it would start with the morality of its citizenship. If they want to get to the nuts and bolts of the real problems that face this country, and I'll say this until the day I die, is term limits.
Oh, yes.
Term limits would solve 95% of the problems, or at least start redirecting, correcting the problems, and they could do it tomorrow if they wanted to, but they won't.
No, that's right.
They won't.
And it definitely would. So let's see here. Well, you know, the crazy thing too is when you nobody trusts the media anymore. So when you don't trust what the people that are supposed to be reporting this stuff, I mean, there's no Walter Cronkites.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, they're just, It's all basically got opinion behind it in some shape, form, or fashion, no matter which way you choose to watch it. Or, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying sometimes people would just rather have it told to them straight than with a bunch of slant on it.
That's all I yearn for. Just give me the straight.
Yeah.
I'll figure out where I want to be on it from there.
Right. I mean, here's my, what's unfair about that? I don't think anything.
I've said it here before, and I don't hide behind it. I don't care for either of the candidates that it appears we're going to have. I don't care for either one of them, but I don't want either one of them to be shot at, to be attacked.
No,
to be that's it's getting outside the unwritten rules of the game.
Yes, way outside.
Yeah.
So, we sit here. I think after that debate, I fully believe what they're doing to our president is elder abuse. Fully believe it. And that bothers me. But I fully believe it. So, anyway, everybody, we do need to pray for the country and certainly the tragic loss of that man. And like you said, I saw those reports as well, of how he did that. And, that's what you do. And, it's just a crazy, crazy, crazy time we're living in. Crazy time. Let's see here.
Wasn't there? There was two other. Weren't there? Am I correct in saying there was two other victims that were shot there at the rally?
That's
one
what
of
I
them.
saw.
One of them I heard was in a medically induced coma.
That's what I saw.
And I thought I heard the other one was in critical. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know the extent of it. I don't want to elaborate incorrectly about either. But there's still a lot of prayer that needs to be given to those that are still battling, that were injured there on the scene.
Absolutely.
Of course, we already mentioned the firefighter that lost his life. And
certainly.
What his family, I think he had either one child, maybe two children. Just terrible.
Well, it's you got to sit and look at this for what it is too. I think the country changed Saturday. And I don't know whether good or bad. I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying, something, I'm telling you, it's just a different kind of feeling right now.
I counseled my son Saturday. My son's 24, so he's grown, and he's gonna, at the end of the day, do what he wants to do. He's
Sure.
a grown man. But I did have a conversation with him, and I said, if you want to do me a big favor, I said, stay at the house tonight. I said, I don't know what's going on here, and you never know how hot people's juices are flowing or running or whatnot. And I said, just stay home tonight and curl up with your dog, Lady May, and let this thing calm down a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. And I can tell you, that was sound advice.
Well, it was troubling to me. I mean, the whole the events. I think it troubled all of us. I mean, that like you said, that's for better or for worse, it was historic. I mean, it was an inch away from being catastrophic. And like I said, that's not saying that he's my candidate of choice. I'm saying the position he's in, a former president of the United States, being shot in the head. I mean, come on. I mean,
right. It's
politics has nothing to do with that.
No,
our country is the premises is choice, is vote, impact change, but not hate, not violence. That's bad stuff.
No, I mean, no. Again, a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of questions, and people are going to ask a lot of questions about this and that and the other. But at the end of the day, like I said, DJ said, the $1 million question is, what do you do to start to try to get people to, come to the table again or something and just start maybe agreeing to disagree and be able to hug afterwards.
I think a great start would be for everybody to watch Drive Time first thing in the morning.
Me too.
On most mornings.
Yeah, when possible.
We do it right here.
Yes.
Everybody's
yes.
welcome. Everybody's input is it's open. We have a melting pot of personalities, a melting pot of people, but we make it work here on most mornings in the best, worst kind of way.
Yeah, when possible. And thank you to the sponsors that help make it happen as well.
And I didn't mention Mark the Shark on the ones and twos this morning. Thank you, Mark.
That's right, Mark. Thank you, sir. Oh man. Good morning. Let's see. Good morning, Chevy Ann. Good morning, Chef Adam. We were watching the TV. Kind of. Yeah. That's a good point. It kind of was like 9/11.
Stokes, when I was talking to Stokes about his plans for Saturday night, he said, Daddy, I think this might be the most impactful thing that has happened in my lifetime. And I mentioned 9/11. Of course, he was one. But since he's been able to be aware of what's going on, it probably is this and the January 6th debacle at the Capitol.
Yep.
Was monumental. I mean, that was a historic,
I'm sure
scary deal.
Sure. It was. I mean, listen, you can get into the political side of it all you want to. This is not political, okay? I don't care. It's just like, I'm going to use DJ for an example. Just like out there at that Conecuh River fishing pier. You did not want to go behind that sign.
Right.
Okay, but the sign was turned sideways. It was not set out saying, don't come in here. It was turned toward the river. So we could go past that. They went across barricades they shouldn't have went across on January 6th. Anything else afterwards, you can talk about and debate political all you want to. The fact is, at that point, it was wrong. So, I agree. Was that a debacle? Sure. But nothing that's happened in the last 50 years.
I've got a buffer. Mike still hot, Shark?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
But anyway, hey, I'm glad you said I can stop talking.
Yeah, no. I was just saying I had a buffer. Yeah.
But nothing in the last 50 years has happened on the level with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you start talking about somebody's, that is doing something like this where security, like DJ was talking about earlier, should have been that way. Why it wasn't, who knows? I don't know. But hopefully we will know.
The shooter was 20. Is that what they said?
Yes.
20.
Yes. Say he was a loner, highly intelligent, tried out for the rifle team, and is a freshman and did not make it. Was considered a poor shot. I mean, this was on his, I guess, school, what you got, transcripts or whatever. And there was, I saw one guy they were talking to that went to school with him. He said he bullied and, kind of sat over by himself, but said he didn't really know much about him. And I saw several media reports say that there's no much social media of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to learn a lot from the guy's phone. That's why I was saying it was kind of troubling to hear them walk out there and say, oh, we can't get in the phone. Now, I'm like you. I don't want to get any trouble. I don't want to kick the doors in. But, I mean, come on. We all know better than that. I mean, let's find out what's going on here and try to, move on and move past it. And Earl Crook, man, listen, I know we're sitting here on it, but I don't know if that's not a true statement.
But definitely been a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, certainly been a game changer. Hey, look, I think there's a lot of ways social media has been a game changer in great ways as well. But I can certainly agree with what Earl's saying there. Normally you sit here and say, well, you know what else went on the weekend? But I got to tell you, it pretty much dominated my weekend.
You know, this is crazy. Like right now, my heart is heavy. And I feel like if I could just hear the jingle from the Rod and Gun, I'd feel immediately better.
Man, don't tell me if you got it.
No, I don't have. I'm just saying. You know, we're talking about safe places and talking about. I mean, I don't know. That was always something that always made things a little bit better for me.
I
hear them turkeys gobbling.
That's no joke, man. When it started off,
Miss Carol, if you're listening, see if you can text it to us, and let us use it at least for this morning.
Man, with Uncle Robert Lee, H.E., I'm gonna tell you, you're right. Second sandbar.
Yep,
for sure. Yeah, you know, that's a good point right there too. Very odd, very odd. So I'm assuming that Stokes he stayed at the house.
I think he made the choice to stay home Saturday.
I did like how you put it. You said, you know, he is a grown man,
full grown.
So if he had chosen, but anyway. Did you kind of get locked up on it the whole weekend yourself, or?
No, because I find myself getting frustrated with what I think is a bigger problem. I certainly watched enough of it to grasp what had happened.
Right.
Understand the timeline, what were the undisputed facts of the case, and then of course all the different narratives start coming in. That starts becoming quite frustrating for me. Like when they say they can't get in the phone. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and see, just like that.
Yeah.
That kind of reaction from just normal people, normal Americans who pay their tax, who live here, who do what they're supposed to do, that's hard to get past people like that. You know what I mean? And so why come out? And I mean, that's why the questions about all this start happening. Because they come out and make dumbass statements like that. I mean, you can't do that, you know? I mean, you can.
The only question, the unanswered question that I had was, since he is not the sitting president, is he? I know that when you're the president, you have Secret Service for life, or have that service available to you for life. If you're not the sitting president, do you have the I didn't know if there's a limitation. Do you have 6 people? Do you have 8 people?
It is not the same amount of security as the sitting president.
Okay.
It is not.
So I didn't know that. But it's still that I mean, it looked like, just looking at the aerial, all I saw was the aerial.
Sure.
It looked like within a given distance, say 500 yards, it would have been a fairly easy place to secure.
Sure.
Now, I understand if somebody shoots you from 2 miles away.
Right.
I got it.
Right.
But that was the closest building to him.
Right.
And that one can't be secure.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, and like I said, I don't know the manpower you have available to you, but I don't know.
Well, listen. Anybody that's ever jacked up a tree in a ladder stand or a climbing stand with a long rifle can tell you that if you're 50 or 60 foot up, like this man was, elevated, you have an advantage.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, you could put a man in a tree with a suppressor and a AR-15, and he could defend himself, his home and himself with anybody that got close to him from 300 yards out. They'd never know where he was.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. There are people out there, I saw this all night long, people out there going to volunteer to help be on Trump's security team. Now, I'm not saying this is political. It's not that. Because they're saying, you know, there needs to be more. Obviously, something's going that needs to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I did see where President Biden came and said that they had all the Secret Service that they needed, you know, moving forward.
Yeah.
I did see that in a statement. So, Miss Gail, you're right. But bottom line, hey, you know, you can't say it no better. Somebody dropped the ball. Or somebody's, but somebody did. DJ for president. Let's do a write-in campaign, DJ.
No.
Huh?
You reckon you could get how far is a DG from the White House?
I don't know. I bet you can. Well, I wonder if you could DoorDash them or something up there.
Speaking of, I'm very frustrated. I'm very frustrated.
I did want to ask where your DG trek is. It seems like it's turning into the Iliad somehow.
It is. You know, I had an eating pattern there for about 3 years that was just like clockwork, and it was just easy. And I've been so flustered and frustrated. I mean, I almost went to Burger King the other day. I found myself just driving aimlessly. Just like, what do I do? They say I'm in the freaking King drive-thru. I'm like, Taylor, what are you doing here?
Oh, Lord. Well, there's still
they're out.
There's still no final outcome.
Those 4 freezers are still empty, and it's what's amazing to me is the stuff on the side of them, like there's individual doors to the cooling units, but once you open the door, it appears to be one unit. Is what it looks like. There's no dividers there,
right.
but there's 4 empty ones, and then the ones on each side of it literally have snow on them. I mean, there is like there's an inch of snow on those on the items in there, and I'm like, what is happening here that is snowing in these 2, and it's 80 degrees in these 4, and the fact that they just I don't know, it's just.
And it had to be the one that had your pot pies in it.
I mean,
what are the chances?
I haven't counted. I'm gonna say there's 20, and the 4 that I need, where my product is gone.
Oh my Lord!
But it's been impossible to. It's almost been impossible to eat. Seriously, it's wrecked my routine. I mean, just wrecked it.
Well. No, I did see Wendy just, she said DG and Alco had CPPs the other day.
That's not my, well, I'm going to have to do something. Thank you for the information, Wendy. I guess I'm going to have to ride out there, but it's just, I've been fairly patient. Actually, I've been extremely patient.
I was about to say, I mean, in the life of you, with the routine you have, you've been not just your extremely, you've been overly patient.
Yeah, it's just.
But I mean, at some point, you're gonna have to, correct the ship.
I can take there's more. My sub, what I've subbed for the CPPs was the squeezed cheese and Ritz, and the caloric intake is not even. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm getting a little heavy, and I need to. When's
the last time you walked Escambia and Belleville? I mean,
it's been a minute. It's just you wait for it to cool off just a little.
It's just too
and
rough.
It's 8:30, and I'm already racking down at that point.
Yeah,
it's just so hot.
It is
in the afternoon. I'm not so sure that it's not hotter at 5 than it is at 2.
Did you see the post that somebody put up to you the other day showing you that no, it was as hot?
Look, I have no doubt you found that table somewhere. I'm telling you that it's not. I had this conversation yesterday getting some boiled peanuts from Greg up there at his place.
Listen, when I saw that post, I said, DJ is going to be on fire.
Let me tell you something. I can get you a graphic that can say whatever you want to say. I'm telling you, the impacts that the heat have on the body right now are more severe than it was in 1986. That's what I'm going to tell you. You don't have to believe it. I lived it. I saw it.
Listen, man, I'm sorry, but when I saw that post, I had to laugh, and I laughed out loud. I mean, I was like, it's like, no, it was. What was one of them? 107, I think, on there. Yeah, I said, I knew. I said the first thing, I get a graphic to say anything you want it to say. Who was it that told you just got to add a few? Was it Ronnie Mac talking about adding a few gigabytes to Whopper?
Yeah,
to be able to handle this equation. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what. Whew. Oh, let's see. Hey, we need to send some prayers for Chef Adam having some hip and knee problems.
Absolutely.
So, DJ, have you thought about making a homemade one?
Why, absolutely not.
I wouldn't even know where to start. Miss Carol said, breaking news. Other places sell chicken pot pies.
But not right across the street. It's killing me.
Shares at Walmart or Pick and Save.
Pick and Save doesn't have it. They've not had the banquet. I told you I got that, Marie,
Yeah.
the white and green box.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And it was 3.5 times more expensive, and I didn't like it.
And you really didn't like that.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I want the banquet, and I want to pay $1.50 for it. I've seen it as low as $1.08, but if you can lock me in $1.50, I would proudly and happily pay it forever.
So you're saying that you could eat that could be your meal. I mean,
it has been 3 times a week.
I was going to say you were working on 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand Marie Cal.
I don't like them. I won't buy another one.
So if it doesn't start with a B and end with a T, you don't want it. Correct me now. The banquet ones are in is it the orange color? Red, but red. Yeah, red color box. Well, somebody asked earlier, I may have been D-Tom. Did you ever go get any ice from Sonic?
I haven't gone to get ice at the Sonic yet. I obviously believe that it's real. I mean, there's just too many people that have spoken to it, and but I haven't. That just is just wild to me that you can go buy a bag of ice at Sonic.
Well,
I'll take a corn dog and a bag of ice. You want a drink? No, I want a bag of ice. I'm gonna pour my drink.
Think about this. Think about how wild it was to all of us when bottled water came out.
Yeah.
Don't you remember what everybody was saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how is this ever going to work? But when you can go to the water, your kitchen sink and get a glass of water, whatever. Next thing you know, bottled water blown up and crazy.
I don't buy it.
I mean, I'm just saying it's just, I mean, when you go to the old tap or, they say now you're not supposed to drink out of the hose. Everybody drink out of the hose. Yeah. I mean,
you haven't been thirsty enough.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So let me ask you this. You had a council meeting last week. That was last Monday, correct? Or today?
No, it was last week.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Anything coming up for the next one?
Not that I know of right now. I think there's a school board meeting today, I think. I need to confirm that. But one of the hot button issues for them is cell phones, how to police them, what policy to put in place.
Yeah.
And I think I'm almost positive that meeting's today, and I think there's going to be a couple of different proposals on how to handle that. I have my opinion. I'll keep it to myself for now. But if that meeting takes place this afternoon, I plan on attending. I do have a little something at 3:30 I have to do, but hopefully I'll be done by the 4:30 hour. I think that's usually when they kick off over there at 4:35. I'm going to try to go over there and listen to some of that and see what direction they're thinking about going with the Bruton City school system. The county may already have something in place that's working. I don't know, but this is Bruton City.
That it's something hard for me because I just remember being in school. I couldn't have fathomed having anything like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this would, I'm telling you, I'd be in prison now if I had access to technology like this back when I was young. I'd be in prison.
Let me ask you this, and this is just a question. I'm just curious, and I'll answer. I'll give you my. This is not a loaded question. This is not. I'm not trying to bait you. I'll answer it before you do. I would love to hear your opinion on it. If the policy was they couldn't bring their cell phone on campus, not in the car in the parking lot, they couldn't bring it on campus. If they were caught with it on campus, it was expulsion. Would you have a problem with it? I'm telling you, raising both hands here today, that I wouldn't. it wouldn't bother me at all. But do you have an opinion on that? And if you don't, that's fine.
Well, if I'm being just totally honest with you, I'm torn on it for one reason and one reason only. And that is the number of school things that have happened in our country over the last several years that some shape, form, or fashion, cell phones have been useful. Not just useful, but extremely useful. So I'm not, I mean, that's a tough one for me to answer just because of that very reason. I would lean more toward probably where you are, but I sit there and think about that, and it's just tough for me to, I can't really say.
Fair enough.
And I wish I could, but I mean, I can't. I mean,
it's a topic because the administrators and the teachers, and I don't doubt this for a second, say that 90% of the behavioral problems stem from the cell phone.
Well,
directly or indirectly.
I have no doubt about that.
And so what do you do? Like, the teacher, this is my opinion. Of course, I'm the son of a teacher. You're married to a teacher. My 2-time ex-wife's a teacher. The teachers, you know what they're there to do?
Teach.
They're there to teach. They shouldn't have to, this is my opinion, they shouldn't have to be checking bags, policing to see if you have this, don't have that. They should be there to teach. And I think so much gets thrown on them outside of what their job description should be, and they're certainly not compensated penny for penny for it. It's just, I don't know. I think the teachers are being put in impossible spots, and the administrators for that matter.
Listen, I couldn't agree with you more on everything you're saying. I mean, that's certainly the case. And I agree with you as well. I think it's probably 95% of behavioral problems because, I mean, think about it. You passing notes, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there with, access to whatever you want. It's a completely different other. And, I get that too. But again, one of my big problems is school security, and let's all just be real honest. I mean, the whole, that'll never happen here. That.
Okay. Well, to play devil's advocate, and
sure.
I hear what you say, and I agree with what you're saying. I know where you're coming from, but if a mass shooting, let's use it. If a mass shooting breaks out, I mean, should we just give all the kids a gun? I mean, that'd be the best way to handle. I mean, that's going to do you more good than a phone in the moment.
No, but I don't disagree. I mean, like I said, that for that reason, exactly what you're saying is why I'm so torn on it, because we went to school during a time where every one of us had a gun in our vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of us. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we didn't have all that going on.
We didn't have phones.
That's correct. But that's what I'm saying, and I'm saying that. I mean, like, that's where I'm coming from. Like, we all had guns in our vehicles. We didn't have a phone on us in a vehicle. We didn't have any of that. So that's why I am telling you I am so torn on that issue, because where we came from, we lived that. So, I know why, I get why you're saying what you're saying as well, so.
That's why I'm hoping I can get my schedule cleared this afternoon. I want to go hear the information. I want to hear, the fours and the four nots equally. I mean, if they tell you it's a problem, it's a problem. What is the solution? I don't know. But it'll be interesting to hear how they're going to try to handle this, and I'm sure they'll have some case study from other school systems and how they're doing it and whatnot. But it'll be interesting.
I mean, listen, I know you do too. I have a fear every day that something like that's going to happen. Anywhere is tragic, but in our community would be just
sure it would.
And when you married to someone, or have a parent or whatever that, in that field, you think about that more and more, and security at schools is just, it's just, to me, we don't spend enough money on that issue that we should be. We should not have to worry about children, staff, what have you, going to their job, going to school, and we should not have to worry about their safety. I can honestly tell you, I never one time feared for my life at T.R. Miller. Now, I feared for it from getting my butt whipped a few times, but certainly not fearing for my life.
I was terrified of Second Hall, especially down there by the water fountain, as a freshman and sophomore. As I got to be an upperclassman, those concerns were alleviated, but the fear was real. When you peeked in from the computer science end of the hall and you saw Hammock and saw Big B down there, you didn't go. You just took that tardy, whatever you had to do, but you didn't go down there.
Yep. Well, I get it. I get it, and I don't blame you. And one thing I will say though is this country's strong, going to be strong, going to remain strong, and I know that. I'm going to say this about this cell phone thing, DJ. Either way, one way or the other, at some point, there'll be, like you're saying, so there'll be studies and school systems that implement some way of doing it that works. And it may be exactly what you're saying, which is, hey, it's zero tolerance. And that may have to be what it is.
Whatever the policy is, I hope people would adhere to it. If you're going to be a student in Bruton City School System,
right?
I mean, they've put a lot into this, trying to come up with something. They don't have anything yet. They're trying to formulate. They're trying to come up with something.
Yep.
But whatever it is, I hope that people will support it.
Yep.
Because they're doing the best they can, and they have a hard job.
Hard job.
Hard circumstances.
Yes.
Involved. But on a lighter note, on a different note, I know we're getting up against the top of the hour. If anybody is up on the north end of town during the day and find themselves there in the Jalisco's parking lot shopping center, if you would go by DG and inquire about those, I'm too close to the situation. Those people are like family to me, and I'm not looking to get something started there that doesn't need to happen. But if you get up there, if you would politely inquire about the 4 freezers that are out at the DG, along with the inventory that was in those 4, and see what the long-term plan is, I'd consider it a personal favor. If you could get that information and get it back to me. Because I've been loading up on squeezed cheese and Twix, and it's I got to do something different.
You got some problems.
I got to do something different.
Mark the Shark, let's go ahead and get on out of here, man.
It's been a great Monday morning. We appreciate everybody being in with us. If you have some time to waste tomorrow, get back in here and we'll do it again. Hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. Drink plenty of fluids, shop local, and be nice. Y'all have a good day.